Now, this is a splendid slice of suburbia that Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg sort of calls home. I know you thought it was somewhere in London, but no, officially home for Nick is one of Northern England's wealthiest constituencies, Sheffield, Hallam.
When Nick Clegg was elected leader of the Liberal Democrat Party in 2008, his first speech to the House of Commons concerned disparities in income and wealth in his newly adopted city.
Well, Nick, you were wrong. I guess you must have been practising to be the Deputy Prime Minister. The reality is that according to the NHS in Sheffield 2008, life expectancy variations between the best and the worst neighbourhoods are a jaw-dropping 19.6 years.
In fact, looking out my office window, I can see the area of Sheffield with the lowest life expectancy, Crooksmoor, at 72.5 years.
Yeah, here in Worrell, I know you were thinking it was going to be somewhere like Ranmore or somewhere like Fulwood that would have the best life expectancy, but nope, Worrell, on the northern edge of Sheffield, 92.1 years old.
Better than the Japanese national average.
So Crooksmoor, I hear it's got the highest mental health admissions rates in the city. Any ideas, Danny?
We've been looking at the Flowers Estate. It's got the second lowest life expectancy in Sheffield and it's in David Blunkett's constituency.
Yeah, I know it. One of the first social housing estates in Britain. A small bit of paradise for the artisan working class back in the 1920s.
Here we are then. Artisan working class? You combine a whole pile of data for a place like this. 90% are economically struggling, poor diets, worse dental health for children under 5 in the city, high rates of obesity, but low rates of binge drinking.
And when you hear that, you have some sort of understanding as to how this area has the highest rates of respiratory and circulatory disease within the city. Grim Reaper's Road Atlas indeed, eh, Danny?
And what about the educational success rates? Well, they're not the lowest in the city, but they're amongst the lowest.
I'm in despair.
What do you mean you're in despair? If you lose your job, you're probably going to get another one within 6 months at least. What about the despair people in this place feel? Most young people leaving school here, they ain't going to get a job, not a legal one at any rate. And when they do, if they do, they're never going to get paid as much as you get paid, not for their whole lives.
Yeah, what we need to be in despair about in a country as unjust as ours is the fact that this injustice means that we all live in a country where we're more likely to be victims of crime, where we live in a country where we're all more likely to be victims of mental health, where we're more likely to be unfulfilled in our lives. Affluenza is what Oliver James calls it. Bonkers is what Mr. Rascal calls it.
You need to think what kind of example we're setting to the rest of the world, and what will happen if our children and our children's children carry on behaving as selfishly as many of us do, if we carry on spreading the message that consumption is success. At least the problem is not that we don't have enough resources. We can feed 9 billion people. It's hard, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, just eat less fish and meat and grow your own fruit and veg.
It's not that we can't imagine a world in which people are doing socially useful work, intelligently, in a way which is healthy. The problems we face are at least tractable. It's just that we were never designed to have to deal with these problems at such a scale, with so many of us, in a way which respects the environment.
You know, this is really bad for us, Danny.
It is. Do you know how much alcohol-related disease there is in Never Edge?
Well, it's not that I was worried about. It's the people that produce this wine. They're right bastards, you know. If people found out what we were drinking, it wouldn't look good.
I'll bring you Blossom Hill next time.
You do that.